You may be the next. And then there's some music notes here. Uh, did you ever think as a hearse goes by that you may be the next to die? Did you ever think as a hearse goes by that you may be the next to die? They wrap you up in a big white sheet from your head down to your feet, and the worms crawl in and the worms crawl out, in your stomach and out your snout, and your eyes fall out and your teeth decay, and that is the end of a perfect day? What? All right, and now we have the notes section. Here's another drawing. Hmm. Boo Man. So here's the notes section. Boo Man is a name for imaginary scary creatures in Newfoundland. Boomen are similar to bogarts in Great Britain, from where many Newfoundlanders came, and to bogeymen and boogeymen in America. The story about the girl who meets a ghost in a cemetery is told in many places. Uh, okay, here's the note for Just Delicious. This is one of hundreds of stories that make up what folklorists call the man from the gallows family, or tale type. They are found in America, Great Britain, Western Europe, and parts of Africa and Asia. Perhaps the best known in the English-speaking world is The Man with the Golden Arm. For a version, see Schwartz tomfoolery. Such stories have their roots in the ancient tale of the man with no work whose family was starving. Searching for food, he comes to a gallows where a criminal has just been hanged. He cuts out the dead man's heart or some other part of his body and takes it home. That night his family feasts, but while they sleep, the man from the gallows comes looking for the part of his body that had been stolen. When he cannot find it, he takes with him the person who stole it. Just Delicious is a story that closely follows this tale. The retelling is based on accounts I have heard over the years in the northeastern United States, the earliest in the 1940s. Louis C. Jones prints a New York City version in which the husband saves himself by removing his wife's liver and giving it to the ghost as a substitute for the one she had stolen. C. Jones' Things That Go Bump in the Night. All right. Harold. Several tales in folklore and fiction tell of a doll or some other figure a person creates that comes to life. In the Jewish legend of the golem, a rabbi uses a charm to give life to a clay statue. When it goes out of control, he destroys it. In Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley's novel Frankenstein, a Swiss student discovers how to bring lifeless matter alive and is destroyed by the monster he creates. In the Greek fairy tale The Gentleman Made of Groats, or Mr. Simigaldi, a princess cannot find herself a good husband, so she creates one by mixing a kilo of almonds, a kilo of sugar, and a kilo of groats, which is similar to grits, and gives the mixture the shape of a man. In answer to her prayers, God gives the figure life. After many adventures, the two live happily. The story Harold is retold from an Austrian-Swiss legend. See Luthi, Once Upon a Time. So here's the note for the dream. Some dreams come true because it is logical that they do so. For example, see Schwartz telling fortunes. But this dream is a puzzle. The story is based on an experience reported by Augustus Hare in his autobiography. Sam's New Pet. I heard this story in Portland, Oregon in 1987. It was one of many versions being told in that period. Folklorist Jan Brunvand entitled one of his collections of modern legends, The Mexican Pet. In it, he reprints a 1984 variant of this story from Newport Beach, California, as well as other versions. Folklorist Gary Allen Fine suggests that this legend reflects anger over Mexican workers who entered the United States illegally and competed for jobs held by Americans. The Mexicans are represented by a pet that turns out to be a rat. He cites a similar legend in France based on the arrival of workers from Africa and the Near East. All right, well that's it, I guess. There's more notes, but I don't need to read all of them. It's nice and interesting to read the notes for to get the backstory or inspiration for the stories in the book. In the book, so it's kind of interesting. All right. Acknowledgements. I thank the many boys and girls who asked for this third book of scary stories. I hope it pleases them. I also am grateful to the people who shared their stories with me and to the librarians and folklore archivists at the University of Maine at Orono, at the University of Pennsylvania, and at Princeton University for their help in my research. I thank Joseph Hickerson of the Library of Congress for identifying popular music based on the Vanishing Hitchhiker legend, and I am indebted as always to my wife and colleague Barbara Karmer Schwartz for her many contributions. A.S. That's Alvin Schwartz, the one who collected these stories from folklore and retold them. About the author, Alvin Schwartz has been building a body of work of over 24 books of folklore for young readers that explores everything from wordplay and humor to tales and legends of all kinds. His collections of scary stories to tell in the dark, more scary stories to tell in the dark, Scary Stories 3, and 2 I Can Read books, In a Dark, Dark Room, and Ghosts are just one part of this ongoing folklore project. Mr. Schwartz lives with his wife in Princeton, New Jersey. About the illustrator, Stephen Gammell's drawings have appeared in a number of books for children, including Alvin Schwartz's Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark and More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. He is the winner of the Caldecott Medal for his drawings in Song and Dance Man by Karen Ackerman and his art in Where the Buffaloes Begin by Olaf Baker earned him Caldecott Honor Award, the Boston Globehorn Book Award, and a New York Times Best Illustrated Books Award. Other recent books he has illustrated include Will's Mammoth by Rafe Martin and Dancing Teepees, Poems of American Indian Youth by Virginia Driving Hawk Sneeve. Mr. Gammell lives with his wife in St. Paul, Minnesota. Yeah, really good artwork, very creepy, very appropriate for this book. Also by Alvin Schwartz. Chin music, tall talk and other talk, cross your fingers, spit in your hat, superstitions and other beliefs, flapdoodle, pure nonsense from American folklore, kickle snifters and other fearsome critters, more scary stories to tell in the dark, scary stories to tell in the dark, telling fortunes, love magic, dream signs, and other ways to learn the future, tomfoolery, trickery, and foolery with words, a twister of twists, a tangler of tongues, unriddling all sorts of riddles to puzzle your guessery, whoppers, tall tales, and other lies, wit cracks, jokes, and jests from American folklore. I can read books. All of our noses are here, and other noodle tales, busy buzzing bumblebees, and other tongue twisters. Ghosts, ghostly tales from folklore. I saw you in the bathtub, and other folk rhymes. In a dark, dark room, and other scary stories. 10 copycats in a boat, and other riddles. There is a carrot in my ear, and other noodle tales. Okay. All done with the Scary Stories books. If you haven't read these books, I recommend them. They're fun, even if you aren't a kid, to read. Some of them are definitely scary, even if you're an adult. I'm an adult, and I still find some of these scary. So yeah, very good artwork too. So I definitely recommend these Scary Stories books. Check them out.